Schenee Murray has a big problem. She's nearing 700 pounds at just over 5 feet tall and has a BMI of 123. How is Schenee dealing with this weight problem, you might ask? Well, actually, she's not.
You haven't lost any weight in 4 months. Why?
I'm telling you, doctor, I got water weight.
You should have lost 130 pounds by now.
Schenee insists that she's not overeating and instead has issues with water retention.
You're not 700 pounds of water.
Despite the fact that she was caught red-handed eating pizza and burgers by Dr. Now.
See what I find.
Schenee is what we might call in denial. And although she's a very extreme example of denial, she's just an extreme example of something we all do from time to time. Mild forms of denial are a lot more common than you might think. And as we'll see with Schenee, this isn't good because denial can be one of the most toxic defense mechanisms. Denial allows problems to get bigger and bigger and bigger until they completely destroy our lives. Something that would not be able to happen if we could just be honest with ourselves, if we could just take full responsibility for whatever was going on right at the start. So I actually resurrected this video on Schenee from my video graveyard. I made it during the first few months that I started my YouTube channel, but I could not get it up due to copyright no matter what I did to it. So now years later, I've rewritten it, but I've included way less clips, unfortunately, because there's a lot of golden clips in this video.
We need some sugar. I need it. I can't eat spaghetti without sugar.
So I will try to put as many clips as I can in the final version, but no promises. But just so you know, it's not for trying, okay? So let's get into it. But first, a message from AG1, today's sponsor. I had been a big fan of AG1 for years, well before they reached out, so it's so cool to now be working together. AG1 is a daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I personally love it. It's so easy to mix it up, drink it down, and know that I'm getting high quality vitamins and minerals whenever I need them. I really hate swallowing pills, especially those super clunky multivitamins. So AG1 is an amazing alternative for me. AG1 is also NSF certified for sport. This means that what is on the label is what you're getting in the product. Something I'm personally super concerned about when it comes to supplements. When it comes to how it tastes, in my opinion, it tastes great. It's hard to describe exactly what it tastes like, kind of like vanilla, bubblegum. It has kind of like a fruitiness to it. I don't know. I love that feeling of like drinking it after a workout or like going for a walk. It kind of just feels like another fun part of a healthy routine. You can try AG1 for yourself by clicking the link in the description box below. AG1 combines 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients in an easy to drink formula that delivers a broad spectrum of micronutrients and phytonutrients that support your brain, gut, and immune system. Our gut health is often neglected, especially in today's food environment. The prebiotics, probiotics, and plant-based enzymes in AG1 help to bolster digestion and nutrient absorption and give much needed support to our gut microbiome. Go to drinkag1.com/Kiana Docherty and get a free 1-year supply of AG, vitamin D3 plus K2 plus 5 AG1 travel packs with your first purchase of AG1. Click the link below. Thanks again to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. And back to the video. As usual on any episode of My 600-Pound Life, Schenee meets Dr. Now and is instructed to lose 30 pounds in order to qualify for weight loss surgery.
You should be able to easily lose 30 pounds in 1 month. And if you hit this goal, I'll approve you for weight loss surgery.
Except when she returns for her first weigh-in, Dr. Now finds that Schenee has gained almost 30 pounds instead. And this is when we're introduced to Shenee's favorite defense mechanism, denial.
So you want to explain to me how this happened?
I have a lot of fluid in my legs.
Dr. Now literally says back, do you want to try that one again? I've heard that one 1,000 times. Denial. Defense mechanism. A person faced with a fact that is too uncomfortable to accept rejects the fact entirely. The person will insist that the fact is not true and simply refuse to acknowledge reality even in the face of irrefutable evidence. In Shenee's case, she's ready with the fluid retention excuse, even though it's extremely obvious to Dr. Now that there's no way that that's true.
Fluid is not adding to your weight gain.
And on some level, Schenee likely believes this lie that her weight gain is mostly due to fluid retention because that is how denial works. Denial literally blocks information from our conscious awareness in order to keep us safe from anxiety and discomfort. But as I'm sure is already obvious, this can lead to its own problems. Clinging to the idea that her weight gain is due to water weight is obviously a very extreme form of denial. That's the thing with kitties. You have them in the back, they're gonna lick their butts from time to time. But there's something else she's doing here that almost all of us do to some degree, and that's ignore anxiety-producing information and avoid giving our full attention to red flags indicating that there might be a bigger problem. Schenee flat out refuses to give her weight problem the level of attention that would be appropriate for a problem that could kill you any day now.
To gain like you did, you still have to be eating over 10,000 calories a day. You're not realizing that?
I did not realize that.
In order to gain that much weight at 700 pounds, Schenee would have to be eating a lot of food. It would be an activity that would take up most of her day. But she's shocked when Dr. Now suggests this, and earlier in the episode, she was shocked when Dr. Now showed her weight.
I don't know what I could be doing wrong. Schenee.
This is something we see on my 600 pound life and in cases of addiction all the time. Just a complete lack of awareness of the situation and how they got to where they are.
I don't eat that much, but I still have water gain.
When information or feelings are too painful or too scary to accept, some people's brains deal with the problem by ignoring it entirely, stuffing it deep down somewhere and hoping that the problem just goes away. And one of the ways this works is simply by just not paying attention properly. Give you an example that most people watching this will have experienced at least once. Ignoring red flags in a relationship. Everybody knows they're guilty of this. How many people have had the experience of dating someone who had so many red flags at the beginning? You knew they were there, your friends mentioned them, but you weren't like fully aware. It's like you weren't fully conscious of it. And it's not until you break up that you're like, oh shit, yeah, how have I been lying to myself this successfully for so long? You realize that your brain has been doing some sort of like mental gymnastics to keep the truth from you this entire time. And these red flags might have been so obvious to your friends and any other people watching, and they're very, very obvious to you after the fact. But during the relationship, they just like, they don't sink in fully. You don't think about them very much, and you kind of just carry on somehow dodging any knowledge that something is wrong. And then one day, something happens and you're just like, oh, shit. You, my friend, were in denial. And haven't we all been, okay? There's a reason they say it's not just a river in Egypt. Now, sometimes defense mechanisms are helpful for us, but denial tends to be one of the more problematic ones because we're essentially just lying to ourselves.
You're still eating whatever you want, whenever you want.
Not necessarily all the time.
Shenee's kind of just like not taking it seriously. It's like it's not fully sinking in. And I'm sure that helps her feel better in the moment about her situation, but at the expense of her future, because living day in and day out with all the negative emotions from the consequences of her actions would help push her into making a change. It's that motivational force that you need to get going.
With all the health issues you've got, you may not even make it to 30. You're not even trying.
And as we'll see with Schenee, when you lie to yourself and you begin to believe your own lies, and you do this for years and years and years, and you pile lie on top of lie and lie, it starts to really warp your version of reality. You start to lose touch with what's true and what's false, and you move from denial to delusion. Something we can really see the beginnings of in Shenee's relationship with her husband, Freddy. In order to work with Dr. Now, Shenee's supposed to move across the country from Indiana to Houston to get the weight loss surgery. And throughout the moving process, we get to know a little bit about Shenee's relationship with her husband, Freddy, who is her primary caretaker. Shenee's lost a lot of her independence at this point. She's not totally bedbound, but she needs Freddy's help with absolutely everything else, including showers. She can't stand up for very long, or I don't think she can fit in the shower, so she needs Freddy to like sponge bath her down every single day. But Schenee has this really warped view of their relationship, probably because she's so in denial about her situation.
I can do certain things by myself, but I can't do everything. And those things that I can't do by myself, I have to beg them. The husband is not there that I married.
Throughout the episode, she accuses him over and over again of being selfish and inconsiderate.
Freddy, wash me like you wash yourself.
That's what I'm doing.
You spend 2 hours in the shower on yourself. You very selfish.
At one point, she's accusing him of this, and she starts calling him names, literally while he's washing her body down, something that he has to do for her almost every single day. She'll say stuff to him like, oh, I'm always looking out for you, but you never look out for me.
But I'm always taking care of you.
And I take care of you too.
I take care of you financially. I gotta beg and ask you to do stuff.
And the fight that they have while he's bathing her culminates in Schenee saying,
Freddy,
Here we go with this.
Only thing you do is wipe my ass and help me wash up.
The only things you do are help me, wipe my ass, and wash up. Now that statement, it obviously just doesn't really make any sense. There is literally nothing anyone can do for you more than that. That is the most selfless, extreme thing anyone could ever do for you. And Freddy does everything for her. From the moment they wake up until the moment they go to sleep, he's really doing everything for her and them. And when you consider the fact that these two are in their 20s, I don't think either of them are even 30 yet. And helping someone do those things is usually reserved for disabled loved ones, the elderly, and babies. Like it's a very big ask, and it takes a lot of love, like unless it's your job as a nurse or something. So to be able to say that and to mean it on TV kind of shows how denial works. Schenee lives her life every day. She's there technically, but she's not really fully aware of it. She's so in the dark about her own life that she thinks that these kind of phrases toward Freddy makes sense. Maybe he is a selfish guy, but him wiping her butt every day, I think, disqualifies her from being able to call him selfish.
Keep taking shots and subliminals.
I need some air. I need a little minute right now.
I think, at least in the capacity of this relationship. And this is a very common thing that you see in addiction as well. People lose sight of the reality of their situation. They're not able to empathize with their partner or whoever's in their lives because of the way denial distorts reality. And throughout the show, Schenee is constantly getting mad at Freddy for the tiniest little things. At one point during their move, Schenee is sitting in the truck eating Taco Bell while Freddy loads up all their very heavy looking stuff. And Schenee says she's frustrated because Freddy is unprepared for the move and taking too long, and she's upset that he's not taking things seriously.
It's frustrating because I feel like Freddy was not prepared for the move. It's like he doesn't care.
But meanwhile, Schenee is eating fast food on their move to get the surgery, so who's really not taking things seriously? There's obviously no point in them moving if Shenee's not going to commit to the change. Quote, people who struggle with addiction often use denial to avoid acknowledging the negative impact their substance use has on their lives. It's easier for Shenee's brain in this situation to blame all her negative feelings on Freddy than it is for her to realize that maybe all her negative emotions in this situation are more related to the fact that she needs to rely on Freddy. She literally can't get up and do it the way she wants to if she wanted to. She has to rely on him. Denial is the way that Schenee has learned to deal with her problems. And maybe it soothes negative emotions in the moment, but it clearly results in other problems popping up in its place. And you might be thinking, how do I make sure I'm not doing this or anything even close to this? And the answer is make a point of being aware. Notice your internal experiences. Think about how you react to emotions, stresses, and problems. Look for patterns. If every single day, whenever you notice any sort of negative emotion, fear or anger or anxiety or even things like cravings, guilt, if you make a practice out of being mindful of these day-to-day emotional experiences, your behavior will change in a positive direction. And the only thing you have to do is to pay attention. The opposite of denying and ignoring your reality like Schenee is accepting it and becoming as aware of it as possible. And while denying and ignoring leads to self-destruction, accepting and awareness lead to growth. So Shenee's move to Houston is a struggle. She can't find an apartment, so she's living out of hotels and admits to not starting her diet and eating a ton of fast food instead.
Lately, my diet's been fast food, fast food, fast food, fast food, every single day.
So when her second weigh-in is scheduled with Dr. Now, Shenee's denial kicks into overdrive. Instead of showing up to her appointment, she checks into the hospital claiming extreme and life-threatening stomach pain. Obviously, it's a little bit fishy to Dr. Now that the day that she's supposed to go for her appointment, she checks into the hospital with life-threatening stomach pain. And when they check her stomach, they find that Schenee has recently consumed 5 times the amount of recommended water pills in an attempt to lose weight fast. But she still gained weight and is now over 700 pounds.
We checked her weight and she is 712 pounds.
On top of that, the hospital staff caught her eating burgers, fries, and pizza, something that Dr. Now confronts her with. Watch her reaction to this.
See what I found.
Freddy.
What about Freddy?
Doctor now brings in a pizza box and says, look what I found. She immediately points over to Freddy and says, that was Freddy. He's also visibly very uncomfortable, fiddling with a paper and not like fully looking at him. So is this the picture of someone in denial? No. You don't have to be Sigmund Freud to see that this is someone caught in a lie. The look on her face, the immediate blaming of Freddy, the fiddling with the paper, coupled with the most important fact, she knew to hide the boxes in other people's garbage and not her own. That shows premeditation and planning, so this was a calculated, conscious decision on her part. If you're aware of what you're doing, it's a lie. If you're unaware, it's denial. But the more you lie, the deeper you go into denial. It is crazy because it feels like, and she seems to be caught in a lie there, but then a few seconds later, it really feels like she's sort of back in denial, like she's back into believing her narrative about the entire situation.
Look at me again. You have weight loss surgery, you lose weight, right?
Yes.
Okay, because you eat less.
Yes.
If you eat less, you lose weight.
I'm not eating. I'm telling you.
And this is for Freddy.
You can be in denial and also lie. And people who are in denial are not necessarily fully, constantly in denial of everything. There are different levels of consciousness and awareness of your own behavior. But in reality, whether it's lying or denial, the goal is really the same, helping Schenee avoid the pain of responsibility for her actions. Now, Dr. Now actually says it perfectly, but I doubt I'll be allowed to leave in that long of a clip, so let me just say what he says. I've watched this clip so many times.
You know you're not doing what you need.
You know you're not doing what you need. Then you come here pretending to have a serious issue to avoid facing the fact that you gained, because you know you were overeating. For some reason though, you think if you just hold on to your lie, all these issues will magically go away. He hit the nail right on the head. Denial is such a big part of addictions. I believe that in like addiction treatment, like drug addiction and any other kind as well, like radical honesty, I think they call it, is part of the program, because lying and denial are a slippery slope when you're in this sort of extreme situation. And Dr. Now must see this every single day, dealing with people in such extreme life positions.
None of your tests show that you're retaining water, okay? You're not 700 pounds of water.
So Dr. Now keeps Schenee in the hospital on a controlled diet, and she miraculously loses 91 pounds in 1 month while there. But after 30 days is sent home to do the diet on her own.
And if you lose 30 pounds in the next month, and you get under 600 pounds, we want to approve you for weight loss surgery.
Okay. But Schenee does not stay on track with her diet. She also skips all her therapy appointments and admits to eating fast food every single day. So when it comes to her next follow-up appointment with Dr. Now, instead of making up a sickness, Schenee just doesn't show up at all. You see, Shenee's way of dealing with the problem is always the same, but in different forms. Avoidance. Avoidance, again, something almost everyone does no matter who you are. This coping strategy can be defined as, if I avoid the problem, then maybe it'll just go away. And denial being the most extreme form of avoidance, where if done enough, you start totally losing grip with reality and can even slip into delusion. Now, obviously, Dr. Now and TLC's producers are not just gonna let Schenee off the hook. So Dr. Now calls Schenee to see why she missed her appointment. But this time, for whatever reason, Schenee is like confrontational right out of the gate with him and actually answers the call while rolling her eyes and saying hello to him.
And you probably haven't lost any weight.
Yeah, I probably haven't lost weight. Yes, you're right.
Schenee and Dr. Now get into this whole argument about her overeating.
That is no excuse for you eating as much as you do.
I don't eat that much, but I still have water gain.
But Schenee just keeps denying that she's eating too much, culminating in Schenee out of the blue asking Dr. Now if he believes in God.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Do you believe in God?
What does that have to do with this discussion?
You could probably already guess where Schenee is going with this. She's gonna push all the responsibility off to a higher power.
It's a matter of medicine and science and physiology.
And Dr. Now says, well, if you go jump off a building, then God is not gonna magically stick his hand out and save you. And Schenee replies with, yes, he will.
Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Now, obviously, if someone is gonna pull the God card, there's nothing to say. Like, there's no, what can you say back to that? It's really the ultimate evasion of responsibility. Like, what can anyone say at that point? She started telling the doctor that her body is different, it's all down to God, etc., etc. I wish I could play the whole conversation because it's pretty iconic, and I even just like love like the flow of her voice, like when she's saying some of the stuff. I asked you, did you believe in God?
I asked you, did you believe in God?
But yeah, obviously I can't, because that is why the original one from 3 years ago was not allowed to be played. So, like, she just keeps asking him, do you believe in God?
Do you believe in God? Do you believe in God? God. Well, I believe in God. I just asked you, do you believe in God? I asked you, did you believe in God? And I asked you, did you believe in God?
But anyway, this whole God thing is why denial is so dangerous. The more you lie to yourself, the further you get from reality. And the further you get from reality because of these lies, the easier it is to become so delusional that you believe that God is going to help you get weight loss surgery. Most denial doesn't lead to delusional thinking. Like I said, most of us engage in a little denial every once in a while, but it's when you keep running from the truth that it becomes a real problem. And I think the fact that Schenee has Freddy backing her up all the time makes it so much worse, because if it's just you, then you're kind of like, wait, am I crazy? But then when you have someone always standing behind you, backing you up, it makes it so much easier to believe your own lies. Like Freddy literally just jumps up to take the blame half the time.
That was me that ate it. She didn't eat any of that.
You both need to stop lying.
No, stop. You're not helping, bro. Stop. The fact that Freddy's always doing this gives Schenee some like reinforcement. It's like, yeah, okay, another person is confirming that my version of events is true, so therefore it must be true.
I am very knowledged.
You know, you ain't used to that kind of intelligence.
If I have to cut the clip of Freddy saying he ain't used to that kind of intelligence here, I am gonna be so freaking sad.
I think our conversation is done right now.
Anyway, Schenee hangs up on Dr. Now, avoids her next appointment, and actually the episode ends with her blocking his number entirely. If that ain't the most literal metaphor for denial, I don't know what is. And obviously Schenee does not go on to get weight loss surgery. But guess what? She has a YouTube channel, okay? And she posted a video of her dancing like 2 days ago. Literally. So she clearly lost weight if she's this mobile. And then, yeah, here is the update. She's 463 pounds. Looks like Freddy is nowhere to be seen, but she has a new man and a baby now. Can't say I was expecting that turn of events, but way to go, Schenee. Happy ending, guys. Also, it's come to my attention that a lot of you guys haven't seen my Tammy Slaton weight loss video. How? Why? Click here to watch, and thank you guys so much for watching.
And you have a blessed day, doctor. Good day.